Right, well, we've got our domain name, we've got our hosting sorted out, we've got WordPress up there, and we've now got our theme. So today we're going to look at branding it up and putting a logo on your website. That's our first step after this. Right, so here we are. We've got our domain name, we've got our hosting sorted out, we've installed WordPress, and we've added the Divi theme to it. And this is what the site will look like after going through that. So we need to start customizing it and making it look like your own website. So the first thing we're going to do is concentrate on your brand guidelines, which I hope you have as a business or as an entity that you're doing this website for. You need to be consistent in how your brand looks across all media, really, not only your website but also anything that you do that's printed. Hopefully you've already got your brand guidelines sorted out. If not, you can use this as an opportunity to develop them. So the first thing we're going to do here is to change the Divi logo to your own. So that's what we'll do now, and we'll do that by going to the dashboard. So hover over where it says My Blog and Dashboard, and then you see the WordPress backend, as I call it here, and you've got the menu down the side, and we want to go to Divi Theme Options. And the first thing you'll see is it gives you an opportunity to upload your logos. So that's what we'll do. We'll click on Upload and then select Files. And I have several I could choose from in terms of logos, which I have for my existing site, my main site. We'll just pick a gecko for this one, just the there we are. We'll just pick a nice one of those and we'll set it as my logo. So we'll now save those changes, and you'll see this here goes to a tick when it's saved. And if I now go to visit the site, we'll see that gecko is now the logo. So it's a bit small at the moment. I'd want it a bit bigger than that, but we'll come to that. So the other thing you'll see kind of straight away in the Divi theme options is this default palette. So these are the color options that it gives you by default, but you can change those to your brand colors, which if you have your logo and your brand guidelines, you should know already. And if you don't, then there's a way of getting it. So ideally, you'll have at least a logo in your brand design. So we'll go and open one of mine. And there's a fairly big one. We'll go for the biggest version here. Here's my gecko. So what I can do is go to my options down here and get the instant eyedropper. So I click on that and it picks out the color. So that saved it to my clipboard. So I can now paste that in, and you see that changes to a darker blue. So there we are, that's that one saved. We'll go back and we'll do the same for the orange. And we'll change that orange to that. There we go. And we'll do it once more and pick up this kind of lighter grey, a grey blue there. So, and we'll change that end one. Now if I save that, then these colours are available to me throughout the site. So that's an important step at this stage. Now you're going to say to me, how do you get an instant eyedropper? Well, you go to instanteyedropper.com and download it here. And then that way it's always down here, and you pick out the hex number for any color, and away you go. So that's what we do. So we've got the theme options here. We've put the hex numbers there, and we have our logo and our colors. So next stage is we don't want this site to be my blog, just another WordPress site. So we'll change that. And to do that, we go to Appearance, Customize, General Settings, Site Identity. There we are. So we can change that to and we'll change the tagline to how to build your own website. Publish that. So now if we refresh this page, we'll be able to see that. So that's that done now. So that's how you change that. You go to Customize, General Settings, Site Identity. There's one further thing we can do here, and that is instead of having this kind of generic grey globe thing here, we can have our own site icon. So that's a Google one, obviously, and you see all these others have their own. So we can have our own too. Select the site icon, and it's recommending 500 by 500 pixels. It's not desperately important, but ideally a square one. So we'll go for this one, meets the criteria. And when that's uploaded, click on select. It asks us to crop it, but because I've chosen a square one, there's no cropping required. And there we are. So you can see the site icon's already gone in there. Okay, so we'll go out of this and we'll go to typography. So the one last thing. So again, if you have your brand icons, you'll know what your brand font should be. If you don't have any set fonts in your brand guidelines, then I suggest you do think about that, and you can Google font combinations. So that, yeah, there is an extra Google in there. We are Googling Google font combinations because Google provides Google fonts, and they're an excellent free resource for you to do that. So you'll find articles like this where it says the best Google font combinations to try, and here are two excellent ones: Railway, Open Sans, and we'll go with that. But if you don't have your own brand fonts, then now's an excellent time to get that in place, and not just use them on your website, but also use them throughout your literature. Update the page. So there we are. We can see that this has changed now to this new font. The other one looks fairly similar to the default font. I wouldn't worry about that. You can obviously choose your own. Don't go overboard with it. Simple, easy to read would be my recommendations. And the last thing we're going to look at today is I want this logo to be bigger. So we'll go back to the customization, layout settings, header and navigation for this. primary menu bar. Right, so we're going to make this bigger. We can take the logo maximum height to 100. It's looking a bit squashed in there, so we can make the menu height at least 100 as well. Now we've gone too far the other way, and maybe make this 120. There we are. So that's looking a bit better, and we'll publish that. We'll go to the main page and refresh it. Okay. So there we are. We've what we've done today, we've got our branding sorted out. We've got a logo in there. We've got our colours ready to use, and we've got our fonts done as well. So tune in next time, and we'll look at developing the home page. So that's the rest of it underneath the logo.